shocks. I made a video for a customer explaining how he'd be able to tell his shocks failed. He wasn't sure if they were bad or not. We had replaced them. But I was at the dealership a few days ago and I seen a guy there. He was arguing about the warranty on his shocks. He noticed them leaking a little bit of oil, and he had just replaced them about 2 weeks prior. He left upset because they didn't give him the warranty for his shocks. And I figured I'd make a video explaining, how you can tell if your shocks fell or not. I'm only going to be talking about the suspension shocks here, because there's different types of shocks, the oil and the gas shocks. I prefer the oil shocks over gas ones. I feel like the oil ones are more consistent and they last longer. But in the rigs, your cab shocks and the trailer shocks, they're usually gas. So we're just going to talk about the powertrain today. And here I have a Freightliner shock. His was a Paccar, so the shocks looked a little different, but they were oil, same concept, same thing. I'll go ahead and merge both videos here and show you guys the video of his, and then show you guys how you can tell. So these four are your shocks right here. These three, and then this one. This one's a lot taller because this is the size they're supposed to be. But you see, once you crush them down, they don't expand no more. They're supposed to reopen, and they don't. Shocks are bad. Here is the Freightliner, the good shock. As you can see here, you can put it on the ground, you can crush it all the way down, and it'll expand by itself. It's a good shock. Now, the reason why they leak is because most people don't understand that there's a grade in shocks, just like brakes and stuff like that. Now, when you're doing repairs, it's important that you speak to your mechanics or the people doing the repairs about the grade of the parts that are going into the truck. Most times they'll charge you for the highest grade and put the lowest quality shocks on your truck. Now, the problem with the guys' shocks at the dealership was that they were the lowest quality shocks, which were rated for 20,000 pounds each one. And he probably had a heavy load, which when he hooked the load up, it caused too much weight on each shock. As he's driving down the highway or whatever, the weight shifts and it goes off to each tire or whatever. The airbags have to lift up and release air certain times as they're driving down the highway. Anyways, if he has a heavier load for shocks that aren't rated for that weight, what will happen is the shock will bleed some oil out because it needs to release some of that pressure. It'll skip past that seal. It doesn't mean the seal is bad. And this is the way you'd be able to tell if the shock is good or not. You take it off and you do a quick test and bow. A lot of times if we notice shocks leaking, we'll assume they're bad and just recommend that they replace them. I not only look at the shock without having to remove it, I inspect the inside of it to see if there's any leakage coming from the inside. And then I'm able to look at the tires, and inspecting the tires, able to see their tread and able to see if they're wearing out differently than the other tires. Then we'll know we'll probably have a shock issue or bushing issue, something like that. Anyways, this is just a small video. Hopefully it helps you guys, and we'll keep posting.